I don't know what to say anymore. Don't worry, Jocelyn. Don't worry, Jocelyn. I'm not going to put my head in my hands and hands over my face and whatever, that you can try to make a little meme video of me crying my eyes out. So we say. I'm just not giving that to you. I'm not giving that to you. And there's generally no point in blowing my fuse anymore over Chelsea results. There just isn't. We're shit. We're absolutely fucking shit. The only reason I'm laughing, because it's that old saying, if you don't laugh, you cry, right? The only reason I'm laughing is because thanks to North London's foolishness, they've taken the majority of the distraction away from me. What do I mean by North London foolishness? I mean Arsenal being top for so long in the Premier League that can technically have their stranglehold on first place eviscerated tomorrow when Manchester City play Burnley away at Turf Moor. North London foolishness in what was that? North London foolishness, sorry, for Spurs, and being dragged into the relegation dog battle. They're now in the bottom three, and further results over the weekend and Monday meant that they still remain in the bottom three. And thanks to West Ham's draw, Wolves got relegated. Another team got relegated today in Leicester City. 10 years ago, they won the title, and they've now gone into League One. The only reason why I can't really laugh at Tottenham's expense, because it is laughable. It's generally laughable. I'm generally taking the piss out of these dickheads, left in, right out. I don't care. I'll be cussing them left, right, and centre. I don't give a flying shit. Kick a man while they're down, because if the shoe was on the other way around, they'll do exactly the same to us. They'll do exactly the same to us. I don't give a shit. I've got personal aggro with those dickheads from North London. Fuck Tottenham. Fuck Tottenham. I hope they get relegated. It will make me laugh so much. I have no sympathy for them. But the reason why I don't take the piss out of them as much as I would like to is because if it wasn't for our results in 2025, we'll be there with them. In fact, I think the penultimate game that we have with one another at Stamford Bridge would probably have decided who stays and who goes in the Premier League. I'm being genuinely serious. If it wasn't for what we did in 2025, we'd be down there with them. In fact, since Thomas Frank got sacked for Spurs, and remember, since then, they had, I don't even know who they had, that Italian geezer, whatever his name is, and then Roberto Di Zerbi. They've had two managers since. They're the only club to have had a worse form than us. They've only picked up 2 points now since Thomas Frank got sacked. We've picked up 4 since Thomas Frank's sacking. 4. That's not the only record we're breaking. We're also breaking records in most amount of teams outrunning us, outpacing us, putting in more effort and more guile. We have now picked up our 5th loss in a row. Our 5th loss in a row without scoring a goal. The last time that happened was in 1912. The last time that happened was when the Titanic sank. History. Wallah, we are creating the best negative history you could ever think about. I thought I would make separate videos based upon the Man United game and the Brighton game. I'm going to lump the two together. Fuck it. Why not? Because it's the same results. It was just Man United surprisingly didn't score the same amount of goals, of 3 to them. We lost 1-0 to Man United on Saturday, and we've combined it tonight with a 3 loss to Brighton. I don't know what to say. We're just picking loss left, right and centre. The last time we scored a goal was at the Parc des Princes. Since then, those dickheads are in the semi-finals. I don't know what to say anymore. We lost 5-2 to them in the first leg. Then we lost to Newcastle 1-0 at home. Then we lost 3-0 at home to PSG. We then follow it up with a 3-0 hammering by Everton. And then I think coupled in between, we beat Port Vale 7-0. But we're going to ignore that fucking result, okay, because it's irrelevant. And I told you that was the most uncomfortable, unflattering, very nerve-wracking 7-0 you'll ever see in your lifetime. Then we proceed to lose 3-0 to Manchester City and assist them with the goal difference in their pursuit of the Premier League title. We then lose 1-0 to Manchester United, and now finally we've lost 3-0 to Brighton, and Danny Welbeck gets his customary goal. I don't know what to say anymore. We've had more 3-0 losses than we've had points. In fact, let me play you a clip. Let me play you a clip from something, okay? I don't know if you'll be able to see it, but let's see. You may not be able to see much, but I was playing five-a-side. No, I was playing seven-a-side football somewhere in London on a Monday afternoon. Is this clear enough? No, that's not clear enough at all. Let's try this one. Is this better? Oh, God, you can't see shit, but let's see. Let's see. Let's just get this one rolling. Because you can't see shit. But let's put it. I'm just wearing black somewhere. See that thing that's happened there? I've scored a goal somewhere. It was a tap in. Well, let me get a little bit of a clearer picture with this one. No, not this one. Yeah, we'll get it more better with this one. This one's a little bit more better. All right. You see me. I'm somewhere in the black with the blue socks. I'm not there yet. Still not there yet. Past that. That's me. I've scored. I've scored 2. Okay, look, me and this pregnant fat belly scored 2. I've scored more goals than Chelsea Football Club have in 7 games, probably. Me, fat donkey me has scored 2 goals. Wow. Sign me up for 17 years and a £450 billion contract, please. I don't mind signing that. At least I'll hit the target than any of our fucking donkeys of a forward. No, trust me. I can't remember a shot on target from Chelsea Football Club. I genuinely can't. Let's just skirt over the game, the one against Manchester United, where, remember, Man United were without the centre-halves in Lisandro Martinez and Harry Maguire. Harry Maguire got banned for an extra game. Lisandro Martinez got banned because he decided to have a hair pull on Dominic Calvert-Lewin. They had a makeshift centre-half pairing of Mazraoui and Evan. That was a fragile defence, and we couldn't even beat them. We couldn't beat them for shit. Estavao hit the post, and then off he went injured. He's done until May. He's probably back for the game against Tottenham, the earliest. But he's pretty much done for the season. We also hit the bar with Liam Delap and Wesley Fofana. But we didn't even put enough pressure onto Manchester United to even warrant an equaliser. It was the most softest centre-half pairing you'll ever see from Man United, but we're even more softer. We're even more softer than this lubricant from Durex, okay? We're more softer than Durex, okay? We keep getting penetrated. We're going to have Leeds United penetrating us unprotected on Sunday as well. Can't wait for that. Can't wait for that. I'll talk about my feelings for that game later on. But we are getting penetrated left, right and centre. The way how Fernandes just walked across that right wing, puts in a cross in the box, and nobody's marking up Cunha. Nobody wanted to mark him. Yeah, Fofana was off injured for a bit, but no defensive sort of what do you call it, intelligence to pick him up. Garnacho in that game, garbage, absolute dog shit garbage. Couldn't get a hold of the ball, was getting out muscled and thrown around like a rag doll in front of the United fans. What else? And then him running into Casemiro, falling, doing salam, doing sezda to Casemiro, and Dallo, who was supposed to track him, just was like, nah, fuck it, I'll just walk because I know there's no point in tracking him because he's going to lose the ball anyway. And then the cherry on the cake, having Mason Mount sus the Chelsea fans. No sense of pride or embarrassment, not even a sense of reckless challenge onto him, just to say, you know what, shut your mouth. No, nothing, no passion, no desire, no nothing. Rest in peace to the angry Ant-Man. He'd pretty much be saying the same thing. There's no passion, there's no desire, there's no anything in this fucking football club. There's nothing. There was absolutely nothing in that game. And that was the summary of Man United, Chelsea. Brighton, Chelsea. Wow, that is generally the worst game of football I've ever seen in my fucking lifetime. Wow. We didn't have a shot on target. We didn't even have a shot on goal in the first half. Not even wide, not even anything. It was just a blocked shot by Chalobah. That was it. And maybe, who was it? What was his name? Who was the one that scored? Who was that wonderful guy that decided to get on the scoring sheet today for the first goal? Sorry, Kadioglu. I think he was the one who put the ball behind after a neat move on the left with Enzo Fernandez turning and then feeding it to Cucurella on the left. He puts the ball across and then it goes behind for a corner. Can you count that as a shot on goal in the first half? I don't think so, because we got fucked in that first half. We genuinely got fucked. You're talking about Liam Rosenior. We'll get onto him in a minute, saying that we almost turned a corner against Manchester United. What the fuck was this? What the fuck was this? I mean, I liked her interview slightly, but wow. Corner coming in and Hato, it was a shit corner from Brighton. It was a shit. I mean, even before that, a cross from the right goes to Mitoma. He nearly scores the same goal he did against Tottenham with the same manoeuvre again, but this time Sanchez makes a brilliant save, and then from the resulting corner, it was a woeful corner at the near post. It should have been headed clear by Hato, but instead he puts it straight into the 6-yard box, and Kalioglu shoots. It goes underneath Fofana's legs and into the back of the net. That was 1-0. Should have been 2, should have been 3. Sanchez playing with the ball, and it was an open goal, but thankfully it got cleared off the line by Trevor Chalobah, I think. And then he made a couple of more saves. One with a header, was it of Ruta? I don't know who it was, but it was a cross from the right. Gets a head onto it, he tips it over the bar. Could have been 2, could have been 3. But it was 1-0 at half-time, and that was the only saving grace. This was generally the worst lineup I've ever seen, playing a 3 at the back, a 3 in the back. I'm still laughing at it, sorry. Sanchez, Fofana, Chalobah, and then I believe Hato were your 3, and then it became Gusto, Pedro Neto, Lavia, Caicedo, and Cucurella as the midfield pairing, and then Enzo Fernandez and Liam Delap up front. Wow. That was the most shittest thing I've ever seen in my lifetime. They were awful. We could not cope with Brighton's pressing. We were out-pressed. We were outrun again. We were outfought physically. All of our players got ragdolled by Kaliog. I think he put every Chelsea player on the floor. We were out-muscled, out-ragdolled. We couldn't even make 5-yard passes to one another. We had Sanchez kicking the ball out long and into the touchline in the first half and the second half, but he was probably our best player. I'm not even going to try cuss him, even though he's also regressed. You had Caicedo, who was being... What has happened to Caicedo, bro? What has Liam Rossini done to Caicedo? Has literally told Caicedo, bro, if you throw the game away, I'll give you a £500 bonus. I don't know. What's he said to Caicedo? What's he training with Caicedo for? What's he telling him? He's a shadow of himself. In December, we're comparing him to Declan Rice. He's not even fit to lace his boots anymore. He was absolutely woeful. He has regressed so badly. That's not me being harsh on him or cussing him, because he's been brilliant in 2025. It's just in 2026 he's regressed because he's under this horrendous manager. The second goal was his fault. He got bopped off the ball by Rutter. He got absolutely bopped off the ball by Rutter. Don't get me wrong, Chalobah made a meal of it by kicking it up in the air, but the way Caicedo got shoved onto the floor by Rutter, and then Hinselwood glides it into the bottom left-hand corner and sends Sanchez the wrong way. Wow. You don't even see... That's not even a Premier League goal. That's something you see in Sunday League. And maybe that's doing a disservice to them. And the third goal, wow. One goal kick from Verbruggen. Bounces over Trevor Chalobah. And then I think, was it Krupi? I think it was Krupi, wasn't it? No, Kuiper, sorry. Maxim de Kuiper. Strolls along the left. And then he picks out Welbeck, who gets his customary goal against Chelsea. And it was a wonderful finish to make it 3-0. Wow. We're really at an all-time low. We really are at an all-time low. I don't know where we go from here anymore. I just want this season to end. Honestly, if it was just a case where because we're still technically fighting for Europe, even though I don't want that, because if we get into Europe, it will give these dickhead owners, and Ekbali was there today. That stupid gammon was there today in his home office, so we say, in his own home, because he loves Brighton so much. I mean, we spent what, £2 billion on this club, stealing their players, stealing their managers, and we idolise the way they work. You know, Brighton, the same Brighton that's won quadruple after quadruple, our European heavyweights in the Champions League season in, season out. That's the way they big up this club and admire this club for their business. We're Brighton 2.0. We're not even 2.0. We're not even 3.0. We're not even a B-Tech Brighton anymore. At least B-Tech Brighton might actually do something. But wow. We steal everything from them and they still give us a thrashing. They've beaten us 4 times in a fucking row. 4 fucking times in a fucking row. I have got no words left anymore. I'm speechless. I don't know what to say anymore. But Liam Rossini, before I was giving him excuses, saying, you know what, it's not his fault. At the end of the day, he should never have been given this job. He got nicked off Strasbourg, a mid-table League One club. You know, if he had any, honor about him, he would, some sort of backbone to him, he would have said, no, fuck off, I don't want the Chelsea job. And if they sacked him, fair enough. Because that's what would have inevitably happened to him. But he would have gotten another job somewhere. Don't worry about that. Don't you worry about that. He was doing very well at Strasbourg. But no, he decides to take the Chelsea job because fair enough. It is, you can technically class it as still one of the best jobs in the country. Not anymore, obviously, but, big pay packet, you're working with world-class stars. Why would you not take the opportunity? He took it. But he's not in his depth or his elements to manage any Premier League club. But I've lost all my sympathy for that. I'm not using that excuse anymore. You need to leave. You need to leave right away. I you need to resign. You need to go. You need to walk. You need to run away from Chelsea Football Club. You have lost the dressing room. You have lost the fans a long time ago. Nobody respects you. I somewhat think you don't even respect yourself at times with the way you talk. I mean, this is the only time in which you stood up there and said, I can't defend any of those players. What was done there was indefensible. I'm not going to really quote everything you say, but it was slightly better than the shite that you were bringing out pre-match and post-match interviews for the games you did lose. But if you think for 1 second, I'm looking at that statement right at the end in which he said, I'll pick the team who I think should play on Sunday. No, I don't want you to be the manager of Chelsea for a game against Sunday against Leeds, the biggest game of our season. I don't want you anywhere near that team. You need to leave right now. You are by far the worst I thought Graham Potter was the worst manager we've ever had, and he was actually my number one. You surpassed him. I'm sorry, you've surpassed him. You're actually shit. You're actually useless. Okay, you're actually useless. How can you come into a team in which you're getting outrun by every single opposition we've played, and your only win so far against Port Vale in the most unconvincing manner? You've not scored a goal in the league since we beat Aston Villa 4-1. And you're having players pulling out with injury. I don't even know if they are injured. Well, maybe they're pulling off a sickie, but Cole Palmer with a little hamstring niggle. Reece James, when is he going to come back? Levi Colwill, when's he going to come back? João Pedro, was he injured? Was he not? Because there was nothing on Fantasy Premier League to indicate yellow flags or anything. It's just right on kickoff, I see the team sheet and he's not there. I don't know what to say anymore. Nobody wants to play for you, mate. Nobody. So save your grace and leave. As for everything else connected with Chelsea Football Club, when's the next fucking protest? Please, let me be there. I want to be there for the next protest, because that's the only thing that has been positive about this football club, is that Strasbourg fans and Chelsea fans lined the streets of West London, went directly outside the stadium against Manchester United just before kickoff, and there were thousands upon Chelsea and Strasbourg fans that banded together. We put our message clear. We're not listening to that stupid moron Egbali anymore. We're not listening to him. We're not listening to you and your media, even your media post. Actually, I have to bring it up because it was quite laughable. It was quite laughable. Okay. Where was it? Let's read this here. What you said on the press, okay? You said about Liam Rosina, he got us off to a great start. We've had a tough past 5-6 matches, but I think we're behind Liam Rosina. Of course, it's a results business, but we think he can be successful long term. Ultimately, the objective at a club like Chelsea is you've got to win trophies. I wouldn't trust Rosina to go for the Papa St. John's trophy, let alone the fucking trophies we want to be competing for. And the thing is, for an under-fire manager, the words are not inspiring. I'm sorry, if you're going to be the owner and say the words, but I think we're behind someone, that's not convincing. That's generally not convincing. No one who's in a place of employment, if their line manager says, I think we're behind this guy, it's not gonna exude any confidence going forward. Alright? You either say, I don't give a shit about the last 10 matches in which we've lost 400 billion goals to nil. We're still behind him because I know he can pull it around. Even if we say that's delusional based thinking, which it is, we'll still go, all right, cool. You're going to play out your convictions. Let's see how much far your stubbornness can go. Or you just say, you know what? Fair enough. We made a mistake. We're going to have to let him go. And then we go, haha, we told you so. This is the most wishy-washiest, sitting on the fence nonsense statement I've ever read in my lifetime. You can't think you're behind someone who's under a poor set of run of results. You really can't. You really can't. And you're hearing everything that's being said about you. You're hearing it all. Literally, you're not welcome here. You're not welcome here. F off Egbali, you're not welcome here. That again was sung by the Chelsea fans. And it got a little bit more nastier. Fuck off Liam Rossini. How can you do that to a man like Liam Rossini? Like I said, if I was Liam Rossini, like I said, Liam Rossini, leave. Just leave, walk out through the door, because it's going to get more nastier and it's just going to do more harm than good for you, mate. Because it is. You know you've lost the fans. But it's going to get a heck of a lot more stickier in the long run if you don't leave tomorrow, latest. Because unfortunately, people are nasty. People are not nice. The people are going to get more and more riled up. Okay? Like I said, I'm not advocating for anything nasty to happen to him. No, he's a good man. He's hardworking. He's a decent bloke. But he's not cut out for Chelsea Football Club. But the chants are going to get worse and worse because unfortunately, that's what football fans do. I'm not saying I would be there chanting that same shit. You must be joking. I'm not that kind of a bloke. But at the end of the day, chants are going to get worse and worse for him. So he needs to go for his own good. And like I said, he'll get a job somewhere else. He'll get a job. He shouldn't be in the Premier League, but maybe somewhere down the French or Austrian or whatever leagues that they're out there, they will take a chance on him and he will do good things for them, but not for big clubs, not when players are not listening to you, not when you're having Marc Cucurella and Enzo Fernandez begging for moves to Real Madrid and Barcelona. Okay, I'm sorry, you're just not that manager anymore. But Egbali, like I said, let's bring it back to the protest. You've heard everything. We don't believe you anymore. We don't believe your spin on trying to buy experienced players. We don't buy your spin on trying to make sure that you're getting your big name players tied down to long-term contracts. I don't know why they've signed them. I don't know why Reece James, Levi Colwill, Cole Palmer, you signed them to these long-term deals. Don't know why. Don't know why at all. But hey, you signed it. Fair enough. You signed your life away. That's all I can say. We don't believe anything you say anymore. You need to go. And we know you're not going to go because you spent $2 billion on this football club. But you need to go because you've lost everything. You've undone all of Roman Abramovich's magnificent work. You've undone every bit of legacy that he has created. The only glimmer of hope you had was Enzo Maresca, in which you told him to fuck off because you couldn't take a bit of criticism that he called you out for what you were, the flaws that you were. You couldn't handle that criticism, and you told him to walk, and he said, fine, I'll walk, I'll resign, I'll go away, because I'm not going to waste my dignity on you dickheads. And fair play to Maresca for doing that. A guy like him will get a top-class job, and I wish him all the best. And if he ever plays against Chelsea, I hope he desecrates Chelsea for what we done to him. We're grateful for what he's done for us. But we don't believe you anymore. We don't believe you, Egbali. We don't believe Todd Bowley. We don't believe Win Stanley. We don't believe Stewart. The fact that there was one of you guys plus Egbali there, all looking very pale and glum, biting your lips in absolute agony is the only silver lining we have, that you are the biggest dickhead that I've ever seen manage and direct a football club. You are a criminal. You're an absolute criminal. You need to be arrested for war crimes for against Chelsea Football Club. You're an absolute criminal. You, Winstanley, Stewart, Todd Bowley, you all need to be arrested for what you've done. The way you have absolutely dismantled my beloved Chelsea Football Club, you need to be arrested for that. You really do. You really do. If you've had any sense or accountability or credibility to your name, you will be sacking Liam Rosenior right now. You will not be telling him to take charge against Leeds United, because I'm telling you right now, I have spent £31 on that ticket for the semi-final, because that's the only game I said I give a shit about. I'm not spending any more money on Chelsea matches in the Premier League. I refuse to spend any one of my hard-earned money on Chelsea Football Club. Going to their home games, going to hospitality, I'm not going anymore. Fuck that. I rescind my membership. 201577706. I rescind that membership. I no longer want anything to do with that bloody membership. I'm not renewing it. I refuse to give you guys any more money. Alright, and I can't even get tickets for that bloody game. The fact that you're trying to charge Chelsea fans £2,000 or £3,000 for a game against... We're playing Leeds United in an FA Cup semi-final. It's not like we're in the Champions League semi-finals or finals, are we? How dare you? How dare you do that to ordinary Chelsea fans? You know, a lot of hardcore Chelsea, there are way more hardcore Chelsea fans than me that can't even get tickets and watch Chelsea Football Club play, because this is the kind of tomfoolery, nonsense, shithouse that you're performing. And this is the problem. It's not as simple as boycott their matches, because unfortunately you've got this shit where, okay, fine, we don't have to attend the matches, but we'll sell the tickets on for £5,000, and some moronic fool from America or around the world will buy that ticket and come to Stamford Bridge and watch that game. It's absolutely criminal. I said 20 years ago, I managed to watch 2 games for £110. One was Liverpool at home at Stamford Bridge, where we drew 4-4 to them. And then the other one was a semi-final clash against Barcelona, in which we never got 4 penalties. We got knocked out on away goals. £110 for 2 very good knockout games. And you've charged us £72 for a game that was already technically dead against PSG. And now you're trying to fleece your own countrymen, probably, of 2,000 hard-earned money of their sacrifice. You're a criminal. You're actual criminals. I've got nothing to say apart from thank you. Thank you for ruining my football club. Thank you for ruining it for what it is, for what it stands for. I can't wait till it gets liquidated. I can't wait till we get liquidated and cease operational function. That's the only thing I'm looking forward to, because I am not going to see any positive trajectory until you fuckers leave my football club alone. But it's not going to happen. So, honestly, can't wait for us to get relegated next season, because you're not going to sack Liam Rosenior tomorrow. We're going to keep him until next season. He's going to lose 20 games in all competitions and will be languishing somewhere down in 19th in the Premier League without a win to our name and without a goal scored again. I'll score more goals than Chelsea Football Club with my pregnant belly in random 8-a-side football matches in London and Liverpool and wherever I place my feet in and around the UK. And then when we do get relegated, you obviously will hemorrhage a shitload of money, and you'd either be forced to sell up or you carry on with the chaos that will ensue and will eventually get liquidated. But like I said, I'm not a man that will advocate for anything, but like I said, it's getting very, very, very nasty for you guys. I'm looking forward to the next protest. But the minute you get those hardcore Chelsea fans, when I'm talking about hardcore, I'm talking about the hardcore in which my skin colour would not be accepted into their group or circles, okay? when I see those kind of Chelsea fans, I run the other way because I don't want to be anywhere near them for obvious reasons. Once you get those lot coming out of their out of wherever they are, good luck to you guys. Good luck. Because it's not going to be nice. It's not going to be nice at all. If I were youth owners right now, sell up fast. Sell up fast. Find somebody, anybody to take over the mess that you've created, because it's a failed project and it's only going to keep on failing and failing whilst you're at the helm. There's not going to be any progression anymore. Like I said, I'm not looking at Arsenal, Manchester United, Manchester City, Liverpool. I'm not looking at you Mandems. I'm more competing with whatever's coming up from the Premier League, like your Coventries, like your Millwalls, like your Hull Cities, because we're going to keep sinking. I've made this very clear. It is going to get very, very, very untenable. As a Chelsea fan, I'm better off seeing them liquidated, because at least if they get liquidated, I can at least say that, you know what, as a Chelsea fan, I saw them win them all, and then we've lost it all, and now we cease to exist. And I'll be happy with that. But I'm not going to support this nonsense. I'll support Chelsea, but I'm not supporting this nonsense. Like I said, I rescind my membership, I rescind everything. We're shit. And I fully accept and give up on anything positive for the remainder of the season. I don't see us beating Leeds United at all. They're going to be unbeaten against us for 3 games in a row, and they're going to go through to the FA Cup final. It's a given now. There's no way. I cannot see Leeds United not winning that game. I'm really sorry. So I look forward to going down to Wembley on a day out, and looking forward to the inevitable loss that's coming our way. So thank you, Chelsea Football Club, for ruining everything that we stand for. Long may the protests continue, and the sooner this season is done, the better it is for, I think, all of our mental and physical well-being. Until then, goodbye, good night, God bless, and fuck off.